ASMR edition of...
Can I just say one thing? Like the most annoying.
Totally. We are totally scratching
Professional.
that idea. Professional.
Well, like a
We're
superhero.
Here. Yeah. Sitting up super straight.
So straight, not like I'm at work.
No.
Hi. Welcome back.
Yay. That's Demi over there.
That is Jessica over
Ew,
there.
don't
I know.
you
I just
ever.
wanted to see your reaction. Okay, I'm so sorry.
Did you see my eyes just
yeah,
like...
you blazed a little bit. Yeah. Ugh, like... I won't do it. Okay.
Oh.
Hello, everyone. How
Yes.
are you doing?
Because you can
Pause.
answer us.
Oh my gosh. That is so crazy that you say that, because we have also been reading this crazy book too, and we've also been distracted at work by that. So wild that everybody thinks that.
So crazy. Well, I'm still not reading. I'm still listening.
Oh my gosh. Update us. Give us the update from the doctor.
There's not much. I mean,
well, there is.
There is. Not sure. The doctor is concerned that my eyesight might be changed permanently. But it's fine. I'm not going to think about it, truthfully, because, like, what the heck am I going to do about it?
Right.
I literally can't do anything.
I can't do nothing about it.
I can now, girl. I also still can't talk this week. Surprise. No, it's fine.
Why?
Yeah, so, oh well. But I've been having fun listening to the book because it is so good on audio.
Do you want my confession?
Yes.
I'm done.
I figured.
Zero self-control. I finished the book.
Don't
but
give away.
I'm not saying a single word, like not even one word.
What I did because I'm listening, I stopped. Well, I went a few chapters ahead. I'm like, I can't stop. And then I stopped. And then I started re-listening from what we were supposed to do. Although I still didn't get through it a second time. And I didn't really write much down. So you're going to be...
I didn't either, which is fine because there's
a lot
we don't
going
even
on.
need, I feel like it's so hard to do like past, present.
Oh, it's
impossible. So I feel like we should just lump everything together.
I like it. Because
it's such a fluid story. Even though you are going back in time, there's still, oh my gosh, I
much happening.
Can't handle it.
So, so before I was about to like real dive in.
Yeah.
Let's cheers.
Oh, cheers. Here we are. Oh,
not bad.
Nice.
Not bad. What are we drinking,
clink.
Demi?
We're drinking to, I mean, there has to be something.
But what are we drinking?
Oh, just champagne. We're drinking champagne.
But also drinking to...
Oh, yeah. See, yeah, now it's on you. What are we drinking to?
We can both still kind of see.
Right. It's a great thing.
It is a great thing. Also, I don't know, I feel kind of overwhelmed with the holidays, but at the same time kind of optimistic about it, if that makes sense. Like,
I'm very excited for this holiday because I've been telling everybody that I have so much joy in my life right now, and my life is like, not to jinx it, I'm gonna knock on wood, but like, I have everything that I want and more. Like I seriously couldn't ask for anything better, and so I don't really want anything. My parents are coming up 2 weeks before Christmas this year.
Good.
Yeah, and so I get to like celebrate with them and like celebrate the engagement.
Them?
Oh my gosh. Oh, I would love nothing more.
I would love nothing more.
I know. It's happening. You're meeting Jim and Lauren.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So,
sweet.
Yes.
Cool. I love that. And I love that for you. It makes me happy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's why we're drinking champagne, because people have just been like I was telling you today, I just feel like Princess Diana. Like I keep getting gifts. And I did nothing except say yes.
See you.
I know.
And I just love that.
Oh, yeah.
I
have friends coming on Thursday. They want to go out to dinner. And yeah.
Good.
Oh, my gosh. Just so much joy.
I love that.
I know. It's a lot
And you seem joyous. Like, you even talking to me about it right now is just like...
exuding the joy.
Yeah. Like, you look glowy. Yes.
Oh, my God. That's cool.
I also just took a picture of her, so you'll see.
Make sure you get this massive pimple on my face. Look at this.
Stop it.
Do you see how big it is, though? It's like...
No, I don't, because it's really not.
It hurts.
Oh, that's
it's like a
painful.
painful
That's not good.
pimple. So pimples.
Pimples, and also asshole abusers, maybe.
One and the same.
Yeah.
The annoying in the same way. So shall we do the same order as last week? Dirty John.
That. Yeah, I think that's good because
very fresh.
Dirty John is very fresh, very wild, super crazy. Okay, so from what I remember, it opens up with him like constantly bringing her smoothies. My very first thought of the whole entire thing is too much.
It's too much.
I don't think it's necessarily too much that he like makes her a smoothie. It's the starting the bath, putting toothpaste on her toothbrush. She's fine.
So I was watching it at work today, and I can't just sit there and stare and watch. So I like listened to it mostly. But when I saw that, I was like, what? Rewinded. I was like,
her hands
no
broken?
Way. She doesn't have to lift a finger. And so like, for someone who's been in 4 marriages alone and probably other failed relationships, this is probably a dream.
That's very true.
You know what I mean?
True.
And nobody's doted on her like this.
And she does say that later on in that episode where it's like, he's the first man I didn't have to ask, could you do something? He took initiative to do it, which is great. That's totally great. I think maybe he's even learned from past relationships too.
Well, how to be better at manipulating.
Exactly.
Yes.
I totally think so.
Agree. What?
No, I'm just like thinking like, like maybe once in a while it'd be nice with like, I don't know if I was like out, like taking the trash out or something and I like started my shower. But even then I'm like, no, I like mine scalding hot anyway. And if you don't get the right scalding temperature, it's not going to.
The one thing Brett does that I just like makes me so happy is he does make my coffee in the mornings.
I love that.
Sometimes, not all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can do it myself and like, I like my routine, but like when he like, even this morning, all he did was, cause we do that pour over.
Yes. Ooh.
All he did was like, make sure I had hot water.
That's great.
And it was just thoughtful, but like if he did it every single morning, I'd be like, I can do it myself. Like, thank you.
And if I'm going to be completely honest, I actually won't make coffee unless it's made. Like, I just don't really like doing it.
Yeah.
Not.
Okay.
Like, I won't waste the time to make coffee.
Yeah.
So I also have to make it at work anyway.
Yeah. So you're going to get
I'm going to get it no matter what.
Yeah.
Once in a while I will make it, like on a weekend or something. And Charlotte's like, yay. But
yeah.
We're all capable. We're all capable of doing our own stuff.
Exactly. So
too much.
Then the thing they're talking about when they what what happened?
I'm sorry, I just read my next note and it was the crying at church.
Stank face.
It was.
Oh my God! Is that what he was doing?
Yes, he was.
And then he totally screws up every single thing about the church. I love it when liars trip on themselves and their past lies.
I also have a theory about some of this. Tell
me, please.
Okay, so the whole thing is that Deborah likes to go to church and she likes to go to the very early mass. Not mass. It's not Catholic. See, even I slipped up.
Yeah.
She likes to go to the very early one because she thinks it's calmer, and he's kind of like, oh gosh, okay, yeah. I mean, I'll go. I'm totally happy to go, but it's just so early.
Right.
So he goes, and then the next scene is them at church, and he's crying because the pastor's saying something so beautiful about Christmas.
And he says priest.
Exactly. And after it, they're talking to Deborah's mom and stuff. He's like, oh. Deborah's mom is like, oh, I thought you've been to this one before. She's like, yeah, but I haven't been with this priest. And she's like, don't you mean pastor?
And then he's like,
I think I need coffee.
So early. I think I need coffee. And it's like, and those women are so dumb that they're like, oh, John, you're so silly.
Yeah.
Like, okay, is that Stockard Channing, the mom?
She looks incredibly familiar.
It's either Stockard Channing or that mom from Juno, and they just
not
made
Stockard
her.
Channing. It's not.
They made her really old.
Oh no, it's definitely not her either. You're thinking of I love her so much. Allison Janney.
Oh my gosh, I love her
Let's
so
actually
much.
Look it up.
Yeah. So anyway, then. Oh, this is a spoiler too. Like spoiler alert. Stop listening if you haven't listened to the podcast. But should I even say it?
What are you going to say?
Do you know what I'm talking about? About who she goes and talks to, who the mom goes and talks to? Well, actually, they say it in the show. When they're all standing there after church, and that's when he gets corrected. And she says, oh, I'm going to go say hi over there. The grandma does. And then Deb is like, well, let's leave now. And she won't. And then John's like, why? Like, you don't want to go say hi to your brother-in-law?
And she's like, ex-brother-in-law.
Ex-brother-in-law.
And she doesn't even say it right then,
actually,
does she?
I don't really remember what exactly she says, but I can't even believe that.
Her name is Jean Smart.
She looks so familiar.
She's definitely been in things. She's been in Sweet Home Alabama as the mom in Sweet Home Alabama. We've talked about Sweet Home Alabama before. That's the ticket. Let's see. She's been in a lot of things. Oh, it sounds like she's a voice in Big Mouth, one of our favorite Netflix shows.
I love Big Mouth.
Me too. She's been I've seen her in things for sure.
I didn't know her name, but she's so she does look like, right? Doesn't she kind of look like Stalker Channing?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, for sure. So I guess they don't really allude to why she doesn't want to go talk to her brother-in-law. We know why.
I can't wait till we get there because I need to talk about that.
I still think you should spoil it.
Okay, so basically in the podcast Dirty John, we find out...
Which I know you're listening to.
You better have already listened to.
So good.
We find out that Debs had a sister who was murdered by her soon-to-be ex-husband. He went crazy and jealousy, and he was very controlling and possessive, and she needed to get out, and he ended up shooting her in the back of the head one day. And so that's who she went to go say hello to. Hello to in the church.
Yes. So we'll touch back on that later when it actually reveals more.
Handle that.
And then after the church fiasco, it wasn't. Yeah.
Oh, but this was scary.
Yeah, there was. Okay, so I re-listened to the podcast today as well.
Yeah.
And there's a woman in their house when they arrive back from church, and she is wearing, in the podcast it says that she's wearing some of Deb's clothes, and she's eating, she's drinking Ovaltine or something.
And she was in the living room or the kitchen or something. She wasn't in the bedroom closet where they had her in the house.
And then in the show, yeah.
We're very nitpicky.
Yeah, we're like,
excuse me, not accurate.
Yeah, this is where it actually took place. I was there.
Mm-hmm. Thank God I was not there.
Oh my God, no.
That scared the shit out of me though when she was in the closet and she was so pretty.
Yeah.
And so just in a daze.
Just this random ass woman. Still don't know who she is. They never say on the podcast who she is.
No, but in the podcast, didn't Deb say that she thought John said her name or was talking to her?
It almost seemed like
they knew each other.
It almost seemed like they knew each other, and it sounded like he was saying, don't come back around here or something like that.
That's what it was.
But also, why don't we know who she is? How come they haven't investigated? I know
that after that was said, it was never really touched on again.
Right, which is so strange to me.
So that was weird. But it was still just terrifying to see.
Which gives John the opportunity to suggest security cameras.
Yes.
Which the security cameras sound great in theory, but they're also throughout the whole house. They're not on the outside of the house, which is where I would want to put them.
In every room.
In every room.
Why is that necessary?
I have to actually watch her, to watch Deb.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Freak. He's a freak.
And this is when her daughters come back in the picture and are super questioning.
Yeah, so then Tara, the younger daughter, who's more sweet than Veronica/Jacqueline.
And they even say that in the podcast. She's the timid, very
that's
calm.
Yes.
Yes. She says to her mom, I don't want him around.
Yeah, she's very explicit,
please don't have him around. And
because it's Christmas.
Yeah, and Deborah's what do you mean I can't bring him around? He's an important part of my life.
Wait. They are also married.
Yeah, but nobody knows that yet.
Right.
Yeah.
But did we say that last week?
We did.
That they got married? Okay,
yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So Tara's asking her mom to please don't bring him around at Christmas, and the mom's Deborah's I have to, I would care about him.
Right.
They're at a therapist. They're talking in front of a therapist right now. And the one thing that Tara asks of her mom, just don't let him play around the kids. And it seems they must have another sister or something, or they must have another brother or sister. They never even explain that in the podcast itself because she keeps talking about the kids.
Well, I think it's the nephews.
But it looked like a couple people, at least in the show, had kids. I don't know. Anyway,
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. But if anything, there are kids involved because the nephew of Deborah has kids.
Yeah.
And in the show, it's boys, but in real life, it's girls. Let me just also put that in there. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't remember that.
So she said, okay, just don't have him come around the kids. And what happens?
He comes around the kids. To be honest, what Deb should have said is like, I'm sorry, like I can't do that. Even though I hate
It's out
John,
of my control.
It's completely out of anybody's control. Are
Truly.
you supposed to look at kids at Christmas time and be like, I'm not allowed to talk to you?
Yeah.
That's more weird than breaking your pact.
Yeah.
So that was stupid.
It was. But also, she's like a young girl who's just like, please don't. If you're going to have him around.
Very naive.
Yeah, exactly. And then we do meet the actual nephew. The nephew's
What's his name?
real name. The real name is Shad. The name on the show is Toby Sellers.
Yeah,
but I kind of get that in a sense where, like, I've never heard of the name Shad.
Yeah.
So I kind of get where it's like, okay, well, the name Toby is unique, but at least it's like a name people can kind of like remember, you know?
True.
So it actually goes really well. Like, meeting John and Toby, it goes really well. They do get along. They're talking about football. But later on,
My God. Okay, so they're like having lunch, and it gets so awkward because they bring up freaking Veronica.
Mm-hmm.
And John, I don't even know if he was making a joke when he really
think he
said it,
was.
because he said this in real life.
Exactly.
I could take her out with a something caliber something with 2 shots to the back of the head.
We know gun stuff.
This is an NRA sponsored podcast.
With a something
dumb gun.
And Deborah kind of like really awkwardly laughs, and Shad is like,
does he not know about my mom getting shot in the back of the head? Like, what?
And then John's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't even think about that, which, you know, he totally did.
Totally.
Everything is calculated.
So calculated, yes.
Yeah, it sounds like somebody else I know in the book. Yeah, so that kind of makes Shad question him. And he finally talks to Veronica.
And Veronica's already like 20 steps ahead, and she's like, great, I'm getting a private...
She put a tracker on the car during Christmas. She didn't actually go to Christmas, but she did go to put a tracker on his car at Christmas.
Yep.
And then got back in the Uber.
Oh, is that what she was doing?
Yeah,
okay.
And so she also wants to hire a private investigator. In the podcast, they don't say how she actually did it, but in the show, it shows her selling
I love it.
Very expensive Chanel
and I
handbag.
Okay, did not think about this for the private investigator. When the private investigator was like, Veronica kept saying like,
you seem so expensive.
You seem expensive. I know investigators that are charging this much, and just being a bitch yet again. Like, I don't think she was this much of a bitch in real life.
Oh, I don't think
know.
So. This is like
very
Hollywood,
amplified. But the detective was like, yeah, they're gonna be less, and then they'll double their price when they go to the person that you want to track and say that they'll give you any information.
Yeah.
I had no idea that was a thing.
I hope that's not really true. I hope
not.
Guys, especially because we've been watching the Scientology series on A&E, which is also amazing if you haven't been watching it. So freaking on it.
On that.
Seriously.
My mind is blown. I think about it all the time.
All the time. And I've even like started rewatching it because it's so crazy. And they do a lot of PI stuff on that too. So I'm hoping, although the PIs are working for a Scientologist, so that's not like the best thing, but I am hoping that I mean, you hire somebody for especially in this instance with Dirty John, where he actually is a dirty motherfucker.
Dangerous. Yeah, he's a dangerous person. I mean, they don't even know how dangerous he is yet.
No, they don't. But they do find out. So Toby gets in contact with Veronica, and they go out to where one of his like former residence addresses are, and it's like a vacant spot where a double wide used to be, or where a trailer used to be.
Like a trailer park,
Trailer park, yeah. And the trailer park owner is like, he doesn't live here. And they're like, yeah, well, he was just in Iraq. She's like, what do you mean he was in Iraq?
He was here the entire time.
Yeah. Well, that's when he was in jail. He was in jail during that time.
Oh, I thought
they said he was.
But
married,
I thought she said that he was
he
lived
was there
in the home or in our trailer the entire time, and they knew each other very well, like implying that they had a relationship.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And on the podcast too, it was a phone call. It wasn't. They didn't actually go and like visit her and stuff like that. And she did say that they had relations and all that
He's
too.
Such a slimy human. Ugh. Okay, so like bombs explode. That happens. Then
this is what I was going to say. This is what I was going to say earlier when he was like crying at church, and like this made me think of it when he said priest instead of pastor. So I think he also uses his anger, you know, when he like lashes out at Deborah.
Oh my God.
Quite often, because I think it's giving him time to think of a way to actually react to her. So he gets a piece of mail that is addressed from a jail. And she like looks at it and is about to open it, and he
grabs it and pops off.
And he's like, "This is
it's a
against
felony.
A felony."
Yeah,
which is actually, you know,
you're married.
Yeah,
literally
please.
Nothing is yours anymore.
Yeah.
Just kidding. That's not true. But like,
but also like, that's weird to be so reactive. So then he says stuff. I even like wrote the quote down that he said, "Don't let my fear ruin us." So it's making him see like the bad guy, but it's putting it on her to like not let it go.
So here's my thing. Okay. This is my note. It makes me mad. I wrote this note when I was watching that scene because it's so clear to you and I who, I mean, I've never been in an abusive relationship. So it's easy for me to see that when things like this happen over and over, and then the person instantly calms down and is like, "I'm so sorry. Don't let me ruin us, and don't let me push you away." And it's like, poor me. I need you. I need your help. You make me a better person. It just makes me mad that Deb has been through these abusive relationships in the past. And this is a very clear sign of abuse. And she can't step back, especially when everybody around her
already dislikes
like,
the person.
Look, pay attention. And it equally pisses me off that she is in therapy and the therapist isn't like, pump the brakes. What just happened?
Yeah. Well, not in the show, but in the podcast, the therapist is the one that told her not to listen to her daughters and to go for it.
Yep.
So, like, I get that because you do want her to be happy, but I think you need to kind of know more about the person that your patient is actually talking with. And the one thing I do want to say about like,
but especially too, if you know your patient's dating history.
Totally.
You know, if you have 4 failed marriages, failed relationships, abusive past relationships, I feel like it would be your job as a therapist to dig a little more. Oh yeah, right.
I would hope so.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
she's probably paying you a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly.
To do all that.
Yep. So.
Yeah. I agree.
Oh, and then, oh my God, when Tara was like in the therapy session and she was like, I don't want him around the kids because when you eventually break up with John, they're going to wonder what they did to cause you to break up, because that's what I thought every single time you ended a relationship.
Ugh, that's
gnarly realness being served in therapy. Stoked because I know that that's how people feel.
Oh, totally.
Oh my God, it was beautiful to say.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Good for her to like say that to her mom. Yes. Just letting her know. I mean, she's older now, so she's like, it's not like I hold it against now. I just that's how I felt when I was a child.
Yes, and we can prevent this.
Totally.
Yep.
And just the last part of that show is Toby confronting John, saying like, I know things about you.
Yes.
And so it happens on text in real life. Like in the real scenario, it happens via text, but on the show, obviously, it happens in person. What do you have to say?
You should be glad. This is what John says to Toby when Toby goes to the house to confront Deb. John says, you should be glad your dad killed your mom. She would be embarrassed of who you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then how does the show end?
It ends with him saying that he's married to Deborah.
Right. I forgot about that. He drops the bomb.
Like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm married, so you're going to see me around forever.
Right, I'm not going anywhere.
What am I missing?
When Deb is like weirded out by... Oh my gosh, Deb's like, look, I am not into these cameras and I need to check it out myself. So she like sneaks around her own house.
Avoiding the cameras
and like leaning up against the wall, because she like in the very beginning of the show, John has this like couple drawers that he just has like his own files. Oh, okay, after also. And so she digs through them at the end and she finds like
restraining orders,
jail paperwork,
felony
stuff, so many of these things. And she's like freaking out about it. But the other thing I was going to say was,
can you just say one thing to your own one thing?
To my own one thing. When she's in her office and he is like, hands her this wad of cash. And he's like, hey, can you like deposit this for me? It's not like $100. It's $10,000. And she's like, I'm sorry. Like, what is this? And he's like, oh, no, it's cool. Like, people pay me under the table and like everything's
because I have
fine.
like undocumented patients. And I'm like, no, and what are you selling?
No, sir. No, you're not. Yeah. And she shows him where she keeps her freaking stash of cash,
which is like already $80,000 to $90,000 of her own money. Because she just takes $1,000 out of her paycheck every month just to put away. Could you even imagine?
Shut up.
Shut your face.
Do you know?
Shut your mouth.
Literally, I like.
What is that?
What does that mean? I take $1,000 from my paycheck just to put it away.
In case, she even says, like, in case a zombie apocalypse happens.
Yeah,
okay.
So that's how the show ends, which...
It's wild. And this is based on a true story.
Yeah.
That's what's even crazier.
Yeah. I want to know what their thoughts, like the real people are, how they feel about the show.
Well, they have bonus episodes, so
I
bet you,
woo!
That would be cool. Which I want to listen to later.
Also, so last week when we were talking about the show, we were kind of talking about like why aren't they making him seem as terrible as he really was from the beginning in the podcast? And I really do think they were just showing it from Deb's point of view. The smoothies.
Yeah,
like
smoothies
and all the nice things. It's like,
and also,
why wouldn't she fall in love with him?
And honestly, like, oh, this is what I was going to say, and I totally forgot to say it. Thank goodness you brought this up, because I get it, though. Like, especially in the way that because they're doing a theatrical portrayal.
Right.
Obviously, like, through a podcast, you're just hearing the story and the facts of it. But
so you need
seeing
more.
It played out, I actually really do get it, though.
Right.
Because he does seem like this doting husband who's willing to do anything for her, that might get angry every once in a while or have, like, a temper tantrum or something. But I really do kind of get why it's easy to fall for. And he also is a sociopath.
Yep.
So you're not going to know that he's this horrible human being until you find papers that say he's...
that literally are a paper trail of all of his lies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So speaking of liars...
Here we go.
Here we go into behind closed doors, because... Whew,
yeah.
This is also a ride.
Oh, we're talking... So now... We're starting at the part where they're getting back from
visiting Millie.
No.
Oh, I thought we were.
No, they were
lunch.
Lunch.
Sorry,
lunch with the gals, with Esther and Diane and Jack and Grace.
So she just goes straight to her room and he locks her in, and she's just like, normally I'd be worried if I would be fed. She's like, but thankfully I had a big lunch.
The steak and fries and
chocolate
dream
fudge
lunch
cake. Oh, I just want the chocolate fudge cake. I've been texting Demi all day about chocolate cake. I can't stop thinking about it. And so sometimes he just leaves her and doesn't feed her. The max he's gone is 3 days. And she says, like, the way I know I'm not going to actually die is because I do have a bathroom with tap water.
Right, right.
Which is insane. Okay, so I was wondering... So one thing is she's really worried about Millie coming to live with them, of course, because that's his, like, goal.
Yes.
Which we come to find out in these chapters. Yep. Is that his whole goal is to have Millie as a captive, which is so sick. She has Down syndrome. Like, everything about this is sick, even if
it's deranged.
It's so fucked up.
Yeah. And
it says the one thing she's hoping for is that maybe he'll die before June. And I'm like... Maybe foreshadowing, who knows? Because that's really that's the only way to kind of keep, at least in Grace's perspective, it's the only way to prevent like any type of
Right.
possession over her sister.
Yes. And so they get home, she's locked in. Then Jack comes up later on and he says that they received a call from Millie's school saying they want to talk to them about something. So then they they obviously have to go because that's the one thing that he can take away from her is visiting Millie. And so they make plans to go on Sunday like they always do. And then she's just kind of sitting in her room and talking to herself, thinking about this position that she's in. And like, I hate her parents so much.
I was just about to say something about her parents.
What? Tell me.
So how she's worried if she kills him and she like ends up going to prison or something. She's like, what will become of Millie? Your freaking parents are going to take care of their own daughter? You actually have parents that are...
They've made it so clear how much they don't give a shit about any of their kids. Don't care. Couldn't care less.
So I'm just like, oh, just kill the guy. I don't know.
So that was just really quick, them getting home. And so then then it goes to the past and they're in Thailand. What? Take it away.
Go. Okay, this is a very long chapter.
Is this the long one?
This is the long one because Jack just tells her a little story. Tells Grace a little bedtime story. So they get to Thailand. She's like, what's going on? Like, why can't I leave the room? And he's like, well, let me just tell you something. This is your life now.
As soon as I tell you, like, you can leave.
Not.
No.
So he tells her about how he loved his mother, but his mother didn't protect him. Not him. This boy loved this mother, and the mother didn't protect this little boy from the father that was abusive.
Very abusive.
So the boy had this hatred growing inside of him
towards his mother.
The mother. And
the father would drag the mother downstairs
and lock her away. Yep.
Lock her up, make her scream, obviously, because she was terrified. And then the young boy started to love the sound of her screams and loved the smell of her fear. So barf.
And the boy kills the mother when she tries to escape because he's scared that he won't hear her screaming anymore. Like, he wants to hear that. The thing that grosses me out the most
is everything that we just said.
No, it's not even the worst of it to me. Is when the boy kills the mother and his thought was his mother had never been more beautiful with a smashed or bloodied face. And I'm like, what sick sexual thing is going on? Like, that makes me so freaking sick. And then the boy blames it on the father easily.
Yes.
Super easy.
Yes.
Because the father was abusive and probably is very shown. And of course he says like, "Oh, the boy is me."
And then he says,
Jack Angel isn't his real name.
Yeah, he said, "So, do you know what he did? He became a lawyer specializing in cases of domestic violence. And then do you know what he did? He married you, Grace." Oh, chills. So crazy.
So horrific.
Oh my gosh.
I am not here for that.
No. So she is like, literally, it's just like, how did my life do this? What's happening to my life? And Grace is just absolutely devastated. And then he kind of tells her like, look, I don't really care about you. I'm after Millie. Millie's all I want, because he never says it outright, but I want to torture her, and I get off on that.
And he says that nobody's going to miss her once you're gone.
Yep.
So it's just like, shoot.
And she's pretty defiant at first and saying, she spits in his face and she's like, "I'm not going to be your perfect wife." And he's like, "You will." Like, it's so creepy how this unfolds. And I wonder if like abusive people are actually like this. Like,
I don't know.
Think, because whenever I think, like, right off the bat, when I think of abusive people, I'm like, they're so stupid. They can't, like, think I don't know what I'm trying to say. Not outside the box. Like, that's not the right thing. But, like, they don't they can't have empathy for people, and so that makes them
they can't
less.
think of like ways that people might react,
but they are so calculated.
Oh yeah,
they have to be to protect themselves.
Yeah, totally.
So do they want to be this way because he loves it?
He lives for it.
There was one, I think.
He went to law school for it.
Yeah.
Like, that means
that's dedication.
Really, yeah.
He loves himself. Oof. Okay.
Ew.
So, yes, they're still in Thailand.
And the thing that pisses me off the most, okay, I just thought about this a lot. She is screaming and begging for help.
Oh, my God.
She gets out of the room. She goes downstairs. She says she doesn't have her passport. It turns out it wasn't her purse because he puts it back in there because he wants her to make her look scary.
So when they first get there.
This is after he told the story.
Right. In the plane, though, he takes her passport, credit cards, everything that she could need to escape. But then when she goes into the room and takes a nap, he puts it all back.
Right. Exactly.
To make her look
like
crazy.
When she goes and asks to like leave.
Right. So after this psychotic story,
so
when she does that.
So she so she escapes. She asks the receptionist, this female receptionist, like, please, I need to get out of here. Can you please call the embassy? All these things. Mm-hmm. And she just goes and tells her manager, and the manager's just like, oh, you're fine. Like, it's fine.
Well, Jack has already, like, prefaced this and, like, explained to them the delicate condition of his wife's mental health.
The one thing that I don't get, though, is that makes me sad, and this is what I've been thinking about, is that she's looking, not just at the woman, but the guy, too, like, I am begging you, please do this.
But and if you have something in your brain where you've been prefaced like, oh, that poor woman. Mm-hmm. He said that she was going to do that. But
me personally wouldn't. If somebody is begging me, I don't care how mentally
then look how
messed up they
unfolds.
Right. And that's
when he's like, he took my passport, he took my credit cards. And he's like, Grace, they're in your purse. And he equally looks devastated and embarrassed.
Mm-hmm. I still would, though. I would, because she is still, if that's something that has happened, if she is mentally unstable, then somebody needs to come, like, hospital,
right?
Something, like some medical type of professional, if it really is an episode mentally.
Right.
I just doesn't sit well with me. If I hear, like we've talked about even, the very beginning of our podcast, if I hear somebody screaming outside, I'm running out there and checking what's going on. And if it's people just end up laughing, then that's fine.
Right.
But I'm going to check because it's not going to sit well with me.
No, I agree. It makes sense. And they're like in another country. Yeah, exactly.
That's when you would want to get it involved because they're probably going to send her right back home and he's going to have to be detained.
Yeah, right.
And also, being stuck in Thailand does not sound horrible. So if they had to investigate him there.
Yeah. So then she's like, no, I want to leave. Get me out of here right now. Mm-hmm. And he's like, okay, like, go ahead, go up to your room and pack and everything. And it was a trick all along.
Did not need to pack. Just leave. No, you had your passport.
You could have walked out the door, screw all your stuff.
And this is again where I'm like, the woman escorted her up there.
Yes.
And when when Grace gets out of the bathroom, because she quickly changes, which she didn't need to do. You can do that at the airport. I'm not victim blaming.
No, I know, but it's just like,
there are things that, for us, it doesn't matter. And, but the woman leaves. Like,
so crazy.
No, make sure that she's okay. Yep. If she's like begging and pleading.
And this is also the thing. So she's very adamant that she wants to leave. Mm-hmm. If she doesn't come down in an hour, 2 hours, like, 3 hours, you're just like, oh,
I guess
great.
You changed your mind.
Yeah, they must not be fighting anymore.
Yeah. No. Just a lover's quarrel.
Yeah. No. You want to leave the country over a lover's quarrel? Like, no way.
No.
So, then Jack, basically this chapter, Jack tells her, you are not to leave this room, but if you do, every time you try and escape, that's a weekend that you will not get to see Millie.
And I thought about this. I don't know what you think about it. Of course, she wants to see her sister. She wants to make sure her sister is okay. But if I just found out that the guy I married is a psychopath, I don't know if I'd want to, like, go and see her, because that means he has to be around her too.
I just think especially if that's the only way that you can connect to the outside world.
Oh, totally.
That's
true.
You need to keep your sanity somehow.
And also, at least maybe eventually talk to Millie's school.
Yep.
have interaction with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then he's like, okay, let's go to sleep. And they don't. So then we're back.
And they don't.
And they don't. Like, she's like, never in my life again.
Not in the same room with Sir.
Yeah. So then back in the present, next chapter, they're going to Millie's school, and they basically all they're telling her is that Millie's had a hard time sleeping and she needs sleeping pills, and they just wanted to give him the heads up, and Grace is like, yeah, totally.
And they're worried that maybe she's not sleeping well because she hasn't seen her new house, which I'm like, in any instance, why would that even be a thing? Why are you saying random stuff? Don't make her go there sooner than she has to. Yeah. Anyway, so they're like, no, maybe she's sad. Maybe she's not sleeping well because she knows she's leaving this place.
Right.
She's like, I bet you she's going to feel better knowing that you'll still keep in contact with her and come visit
Grace
her.
Grace is like really encouraging this relationship.
And the teacher's
so
like, of course I will.
Forget. Yes.
Yeah.
So then they go to lunch and they go to the bathroom again.
Jack accompanies them again.
Of course.
So this is one thing I thought. So Grace says that she wishes that people would question her relationship with Jack. She's like, how are all these friends that we have? Right, no, they're just people that come over and have dinner. And how are they not questioning why she never actually wants to leave the house? Like, unless she was agoraphobic, which obviously she does leave the house because she goes, she went to lunch and she goes and visits her sister.
Yep. They really might think that she's just kind of weird.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Like they don't know her.
Yep. And they don't know her well enough.
Maybe they think she's kind of a bitch.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
Like, I'm just a housewife.
I'm a housewife. I'm so beautiful. My husband's so successful. You're all peasants. Like,
right. And maybe they do, but she's like irritated that people aren't questioning her. But this is what I have to say, is that when we first meet Esther in the first chapter, and Grace is freaking out about all the questions that she's asking, but in this chapter she's like, but why aren't they questioning me more? But then again, Esther is, but I don't know. I'm just like, wait, what do you want?
What do you want? I mean, she doesn't even know what she wants.
Has no idea.
She has to like map out every opportunity and already think like of 20 different options of things to say.
Yeah.
Because Jack is so insane.
Oh my God. Legit insane.
Yeah. So then they're in Thailand, and
are we going back to the past?
Yes, we're back in the past. And then they're like running all around Thailand trying to take honeymoon pictures and look super happy, and they're at one beach club and she'll have to change into like multiple bikinis and look happy. And
I thought that was later. Is that already?
Shoot.
It doesn't matter. We're going breezing over to it. Yeah. And also he leaves her out on the balcony.
Oh, that's this one. Whoops. Yes. So
but they do go around, like they go out and have breakfast and they go out and do these things.
Right.
And, making sure he's taking all the pictures that makes her look super happy. And so he tells her, I'm going to lock you out on the balcony because I can't lock you in the room.
And you need to look really tan for when we get back from our magical honeymoon.
I've been to Thailand and it is so freaking hot. I could not imagine being locked out on the balcony for hours.
I mean, no matter where you are.
No. I mean, thank
sick.
goodness, like, there's shade, she says, but at the same time, like, the humidity there, you sweat all that out. I just couldn't imagine. You would feel like you were slowly dying.
She does.
I know.
she is slowly dying.
Truly slowly dying.
So, yeah, then she couldn't, like, go to the bathroom or do anything.
And this is when it sounds like there's two people that go into the room next door.
Oh, right. There's neighbors next door.
And it sounds like a man and a woman. It sounds like they might be newlyweds because they don't leave the room that often. And maybe they're, hooking up, making love, having sex.
Who is it really?
It is really Jack.
Being an absolute psychopath.
Psycho.
I when this happened, I couldn't believe it. I was like, yes, like
she's gonna get out. Yeah. So what Jack does is that he leaves for a period of time and keeps increasing the time that he's gone. He's like, cool, okay, well maybe this will be my chance. Yeah. And it's at night, so he doesn't actually lock her out on the balcony, which is why it's weird that maybe she didn't think it was him because she didn't lock him in. She just stayed in the room. He didn't lock in. The whole point was her going on the balcony because she could escape from the room.
Right.
But this is when he just
maybe he's like
in the room.
The reason he's doing it, he's like testing her.
Yeah, totally.
Mental.
Yeah, how long can she stay in this room before trying? So she thinks she hears people in the room next door, and she does. And so she finally is brave enough to like escape out of the room, pounding on the door next door. Please help me. Please help me. And who answers the mother freaking door?
It's Jack. And he's so crazy that he rented the room next door and told the hotel, like, oh, like I can't sleep because of her. And, you know, I'm such a loving and dedicated husband that I will spend extra money to be near my wife and be there when I need her.
And he basically tells her, like, oh, did you think it was a couple next door? You never heard a woman speaking. You only heard a man. I bet you didn't know I spoke Spanish or something like that. And I'm like, oh, you freaking freak.
Monster. So then they fly back and she's like trying to plan how she can like talk to a flight attendant, talk to a pilot, like literally to anybody. He drugs her, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he drugs her and like on her way home through the airport, she's like trying to get somebody's attention, but she's just so drugged. And then they get to the house and the house is beautiful.
Beautiful for him.
Molly.
No, not Molly the dog. Oh, he is so sick for this. So it didn't actually hit her in Thailand that when he said that there was no housekeeper, that's where we ended on the last pod episode, that means Molly wasn't being taken care of. And so it dawns on her now as there's dogs barking in the background.
Speaking of Molly, the dog's name is Molly next door. So where are we?
Molly.
Oh.
So he tells her to go down to the basement and he gives her a garbage bag.
And says, I think you'll be needing it. And then we're in the present.
It's so horrible.
Like, true
trash.
Psychopath.
Oh.
I mean, like that, they like to torture animals. Oh.
And he's torturing animals while torturing her.
Ew.
Like how doubly.
Just to like take things away from her. And just break her down. Ugh.
In every way. That's what he's doing. He's breaking her down to not feel like she can ever come back up.
Yeah, he's so sick. So now we're in the present, and he like puts her, they're home from lunch with the girls. He puts her up in her room, and she's sitting in her room, bored as fuck, of course. And she hears Jack coming up the stairs. She heard like a ring on the phone, or like
she heard
some
something.
Bell.
Yeah.
And so he comes to her door, and he's like, I have something for you. And he says, what is it? A book. Would you like it? And then
she's like, what am I supposed to say? Like
she says, if it's called My Life with a Psychopath, I'm not interested.
That's a little testy. I like it.
I know.
Yes, get it where you can, girl.
Yeah. And so then he says, Esther just dropped off the book. And then he leaves.
And she's like, how am I going to keep from reading it super quickly?
Right. She just like map out how she can like not be bored. But she's like, screw it. I'm just going to read it.
Yes. That's what I would do.
Yeah. So she starts reading it. And she notices that very lightly throughout different pages, there are words that are highlighted. Like not highlighted, but like lightly shaded.
Lightly. Like you might not even catch it.
Yeah, you wouldn't even notice. And it spells out, is everything all right? And
her heart starts beating. She's like,
oh my God, somebody knows.
Is Esther like calling, like saying something
noticing
to me?
And it says, do you need help? And so at this point, I'm just like, dude, Esther is here to stay. Esther is a hometown hero.
She my queen.
Yeah. She's a bad bitch. So then she's like, well, how can I alert Esther once I give the book back? Blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, wait.
Could this
could be Jack.
Yep.
And
because this is so Jack to like mess with her mind this much.
That's true.
And I'm really actually proud of Grace for figuring that part out potentially.
Totally.
Because she has been through, and she even says this before, like, sometimes I don't know when I'm going to be fed, but it keeps me on my toes. I'm not used to a routine, so I'm constantly critically thinking.
Yes.
Which obviously he's a horrible shit person, and I wish he wouldn't starve her to death, but like that's a good point that she's like making. Like,
yes.
This is making her think, is this Esther or is
it Jack?
Yeah.
So then
like, how can I say something to Esther that could be a potential sign, but maybe not let Jack know?
Right.
You know?
Right. So then Jack comes up the stairs, and he's like questioning her about the book, and she lies, and she's like, ugh, kind of not my thing, not really, it's not the book I'd normally read. And he's like, I haven't even gotten that far. And so he insists that he reads it before they go to Esther's for dinner, so they like have plans to go there. And that's where that chapter ends, and then we get into the past again. And this is a really
it unravels a lot.
It's too much.
It
I can't talk about dead puppies.
I know.
So Molly's dead. Let's just say it.
She's gone.
Deceased.
Yeah.
And he starved her
to death
and locked her in the basement. And
a puppy.
A little baby puppy is dead.
And a Labrador, no less. Those are so expensive.
Stop. It's so cute.
I know.
So small.
So small.
So then he
she has to bury him, and he gives her a shovel.
Gives her a shovel, the garbage bag. He's kind of bored with it, and he's like, just get on with it.
Yeah.
And then she pops him in the face with the shovel.
Get it, girl.
Yeah, doesn't get away. And he's like, okay, so now you're not seeing Millie for 3 weeks.
And she's questioning him, why can't I just replace Millie? Why don't you just keep going to Thailand? He apparently goes there. It seems
to just abuse women. Yeah.
Unfortunately, there are a lot of sex workers in Thailand.
Yeah.
Everywhere. So it's probably easy for him to get away with.
Yep.
Doing that stuff. And she does think he's gay. Remember? Because
that's right.
Because she's like, why are you going to Thailand? Because Thailand is also known for having a very trans population.
Yeah, but no, he just likes to abuse people.
Yeah.
So
please just be a cool gay guy. Can you just be my best friend?
No.
I don't know.
No, he's a nightmare. Oh, he's giving her a tour around the house.
Right. He's and telling her, oh, you thought all of these things were your ideas, but really I was guiding you into thinking what you wanted, which, I mean, he's just a master manipulator.
He's so crazy.
I can't.
Gosh, it makes me feel stupid. Because I always put myself in the main character's shoes, and I'm just like, why didn't I see it coming? He's too good. The way that manipulative people he did is one step ahead and pushes her in the direction that he wants her to go, while also making her feel like she was making independent decisions.
Oh, totally.
Crazy.
It's insane.
Sick.
Which is why, with John Meehan from Dirty John, when he's just don't give up on us, don't let me ruin it.
Yes, it's abuse.
Yeah, it's you're making them think they have the choice and letting it go.
Yep.
So the house, when they were going through the house, she tries to get away. She tries to run out, but the house is completely dark because the steel shutters are drawn, and she tries to go somewhere where maybe he won't find her, but she has no idea where she's going because she's never been in this house before. And he calls out to her like a horror movie.
Yeah.
And turns on the lights because he knows where the lights are. He's like, because of that, now you won't see Millie for another week. Oh my God, you are insane, dude.
Yep.
Just let her leave.
And then this is also when she talks about him not coming home for 3 days or something. And then also trying to get a doctor.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And he gave her a Advil or something. And it's what is an Advil going to do for anything ever? Unless I'm hungover, an Advil will do nothing.
It still doesn't do enough.
Don't do that.
Yeah, sorry. Yawns. She's but she's faking appendicitis. She's having abdomen pain, and so he finally calls a doctor, and every time she touches him, or the doctor touches her, she's like, oh, that hurts. Can I talk to you in private?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, excuse me.
My husband's gross. Can you get him out of here?
Can I talk to you?
Yeah, and no.
And of course, he does leave, but the doctor has been warned that, oh, my wife's crazy. Again, I understand that you might have been warned, quote, But the fact that you have a woman in front of you begging for help.
Nope. Doesn't matter.
I just listen to women, please. When they're asking for, listen to anybody who's asking for help.
Seriously.
Truly.
And then they even have her parents come to the house, and like when they see Millie's room, they're like, oh my God, she's gonna love it. It's yellow. It's so perfect.
And they see like their room, Jack and Grace's room, although Grace is not staying there.
And he's planted a bunch of stuff for her there.
Yep. Like throwing her clothes across the way to make it look like she lives there.
Yep.
So
and then
sick.
this is also when we find out that Millie is like, Grace, he pushed me down the stairs.
Yep, so they finally go visit Millie.
And so Jack is a bad man, very bad. He pushed me down the stairs. And she's like, no, Millie, like, I'm not ready for you to know this yet. Like, hush, hush. And
the one important thing, though, is that
oh, yes.
The reason why she's actually able to tell Grace that he pushed her down the stairs and that he's a bad man, she doesn't like Jack, is because they go to the hotel, the place that Millie keeps asking to go.
Right.
Like, I want to go to the hotel. I want to go eat at the hotel. And
so
Jack is always like,
private time
yeah. So Jack is always like, no, we're not going there. We're going somewhere else because he can't watch him. So they had to go down into the bathroom, down a corridor that Jack wasn't allowed in. Right. Which is why they've never returned. And that's when this is the whole
George Clooney.
Yep. What did she say?
They talk about how, yes, he did push her down the stairs, and they both know that he's a bad man, but they can only
can't talk bad about him.
Yeah, they can only say that she doesn't like George Clooney. And so that's why Millie loves every time that Jack's like, I know. Yeah. George Clooney is a very bad man.
And the part that I love the most is like, but Grace, Jack is George Clooney. Clooney is Jack.
Yeah.
And Grace is like, yes.
Yeah.
I like you, Jack, but I
don't like George Clooney. Yeah. And then at the very end is when it says, I like you, Jack, you nice. And he's like, oh, I'm glad you think so. And she goes, I know, but I don't like George Clooney. And he goes, that's fine by me. I don't like him either. And that's when she starts
busting up laughing.
So that's where we end.
Yeah. Didn't realize
I know. That came up super fast.
Yeah.
I was ready to keep talking.
Read a couple ahead. Or listen a couple ahead.
Right. So again, we're going to read 6 more chapters and stop at the chapter where it says it's a present chapter and it says it's the day of Millie's party.
Yes.
And then stop there. Don't read that chapter. But if you have to and want to, like we both have done.
Yeah. I mean, Demi's done again. I mean, let's be real. Who knows?
You're gonna finish it.
If something huge happens,
that's why
I
couldn't stop. I was on a plane too. In my defense, I was on a plane.
Nothing else to do.
Should have brought another book. I had 2 books, but needed to read this.
Yes, I mean, yeah, it's so good.
Right,
it's so good.
Do you have any predictors?
Well, I hope Jack dies. I don't really.
Well, so what we know so far is we're going to a dinner party at Esther's, and Esther has left her a secret note.
Exactly. Maybe Esther, because even
That's
Grace
true.
is like, well, maybe it's Esther, maybe it's Jack.
Yes.
I don't know.
No one knows.
Yeah. I mean, I really do hope, even if this note isn't from Esther, potentially, I do hope that this dinner party maybe reveals something. More. Yeah, and that maybe somebody at this dinner party will pick up on something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, hope some drama goes down. Yeah.
Operation Save Grace and Millie.
Grace and Millie.
Yeah.
And Molly.
Molly.
I know.
R.I.P. little baby.
So yeah, that's pretty exciting, and we'll try and tie that into Dirty John a little more. But basically, Jack and John are the same people.
Yeah.
They're evil, and it's terrifying because this book is not real. Mm-hmm. Dirty John is very real, and
there's still similarities.
They're so similar, and Dirty John might be worse because he's gotten away with it for so long. Mm-hmm. According to the podcast, not in the story yet, not in the show.
Yeah.
So spoiler!
So spoiled.
Okay. So now, Q&A. Q&A. I said a question, an answer, a question.
I feel like bring it on right now.
Like Ariana Grande.
Ooh!
Thank you.
Next.
Okay.
Question.
Here we go.
Why... Okay, they also need to maybe proofread. Why is my ex so mean and vindictive towards me? I also can't talk again. He was the one that cheated, and he was the one that stopped talking to me. Now he makes horrible stuff up about me.
Oh.
Why would he do that? Should I confront him?
No.
I mean,
no.
If you see him,
no.
Just
The
like,
worst thing.
I know, giving him
the worst thing that you can do to someone when they treat you like trash is to be nice to them.
Oh, that's so true. That's so true. And also, don't let them know that they're getting to you.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. Smile in their face and say, how's it going?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Literally, how bored could you possibly be?
Yeah, exactly.
That you have to make stuff up about
If you
me?
need to, if you want to, like, talk it out with somebody, that's what your friends are for.
Sure.
Do that.
Talk trash with your friends.
That's
smile
the best
in their
part.
face.
Oh, so
Do not
good.
let your enemies get the best of you.
Don't.
Absolutely
no.
not.
And they're not worth it. And pretty soon you're never going to think about this person ever
and
again.
like, God bless that you are not with them anymore.
Seriously,
like,
if that's how horrible that they are.
What also I've always thought was pretty cool was when they do get into relationships, you message their newest and you're like, hey, I'm sure you've heard a lot of crazy stuff about me because he lied. Just want you to know what you're getting into. Like, I'm just going to leave this information right here for you.
Yeah. Also, just never talk to them again.
Ever.
Yeah.
Block them on all forms of means.
And it will make you feel so much better not. And that honestly goes for friends too. Friends that are toxic. In your life. Like, if you stop checking in with them or seeing what they're up to, you feel so much better.
Light as a feather.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to compare your life. You don't have to say, oh, what are they? Like, it's so good to just distance yourself. Yep. So, yeah.
Don't worry about them. Shine on, girl.
Shine on.
Yeah. Okay. Mine is really funny.
I'm excited. I'm so excited.
Left my number on the receipt for the waiter who was very obviously flirtatious and even touched my lower back and showed me a hot shirtless pic of him from his Instagram.
Whoa. ...
He never called or texted. Did he even get the receipt, or is he just a player looking for a good tip? Disclaimer, this receipt was in Chippendale's restaurant in Vegas. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my God. I was like, ah! No. That'd be hilarious. Demi and I have both been in the service industry, and sometimes being a little flirtatious does get you that tip. But it is weird that he was like extra. He like
that's like too much.
Extra.
I would never, ever
never touch anybody.
Don't touch me.
Don't
I
touch
won't touch
me,
you,
and I won't touch you. Yeah.
Ever.
I also won't show you
any pictures of my. I won't even pull up my phone because I'm not allowed to have it on the floor.
Although I do have it. Just know I have
apron,
it. It's in my apron.
Along with my bread that I'm eating out of my apron.
My bread and my phone are next to each other.
So many Italian restaurants. I'm like a little bread goblin.
No.
People get fired for eating bread. Isn't that hilarious? I know. It's so crazy.
That's so ridiculous. My face went so like, are you kidding me?
Do you know what I used to do?
What?
I would
Oh no, tell me.
Bread and a butter ramekin in my apron.
And a butter ramekin?
And it wouldn't ramekin of butter.
Anywhere?
Mm-mm.
Wow, because it was like kind of solid. Girl, goals.
Those are the days, man.
Goals.
I miss that.
Yeah.
I mean, what I miss is being able to eat the bread and not gain weight.
Yeah, because you're constantly
so
walking.
Busy.
Yes.
Yeah. I wish they had those little Fitbits when we were restaurant workers.
Seriously. Honestly.
I would love to track my steps.
All the times I did it.
Golden years.
Yeah.
Thirsty
nice.
Thursdays.
Oh.
At Red Rabbit.
Red Rabbit.
Yeah.
Oh, Red Rabbit's so good.
I only went because I thought Brett might be able to go.
Yeah, he did a couple times.
He did.
Yeah. We totally didn't really talk about this question, though. Too much. I already forgot.
Dude, I mean, like, go back to the restaurant then.
Yeah, totally.
You know?
Yeah, if you're, like, feeling yourself.
Totally. And they're clearly feeling themselves.
Yeah,
here's my Instagram.
He's, like, showing.
Why would a server
picture?
do that? That's really weird.
Because he was probably into this person.
You think
Did
so?
you
or
see
into himself?
That too? That too. Is he a dirty John?
It is John.
It is John. Have you seen that meme going around right now? Not a meme. It's actually like a picture, I guess. It's a receipt, and it says, "If you're not gay, my friend thinks you're cute. Here's her number. If you are gay, here's my number."
Oh my God, cute!
Yeah.
I love that.
It's
Love
so
that.
cute.
Was that awkward though? Like,
well, the person was thought it was super
liked
cool.
it?
Yeah, they're
Were
like,
they gay?
oh, I don't know. It doesn't say.
Ah.
It doesn't say in the pic.
Darn, I want to know more deets.
More deets. But I'm just like, how like brave is that? I had my sister. Sorry, Natalie, gonna tell your story.
Put it on blast.
My sister Natalie would like buzz her head for locks of love and stuff like that, and she had a woman. My sister used to work at Vaughn's, which is like a Safeway or whatever, a grocery store, and this woman like asked if she was interested in women because she thought my sister was really cute. And I just remember because I was young, and my sister was like, yeah, it was really nice that she was just like really polite and just asked me, and I'm like, this is the type of reactions. Like my sister's like, no, I actually have a boyfriend, thank you though. And it was just polite and like, so and what?
Anyway,
yeah. And I'm just like, that's how it should be.
That's
so whether this person was straight, gay, bi, they were just like, cool, like that's awesome. People think I'm cute and they wanted to reach out to me, you know?
So cute.
In a non-creepy way. Because how like anonymous is it to just be like, hey,
I know.
This is just a little note.
Yeah. So I thought that was a little more lighthearted.
So yes, I needed that.
Yeah.
I needed that.
It was a really intense episode. So, everything was bad.
All the bad things. Ugh. But also great writing, great podcasting, great directing on the show. I really do like it.
Me too. Yeah, I'm here for it.
Me too. So, oh shoot, you know what we really need to talk about?
No.
Before we end is next week, next Monday, by the time this airs, is our Despite the Dark event.
Yep.
Yep.
We're running, gals
and
guys.
Everybody, please come out and join us if you're in the Sacramento area. And if you're not, maybe virtually check in with us.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Our run event is Monday, December 17th at 6:30 p.m. We are meeting at the California State Capitol. So we're running 3 miles into West Sacramento. We'll be going over the Tower Bridge, which is actually the shortest highway in the United States.
Oh, is it really?
Technically,
Fun
a
fact.
Highway. Just that little Tower Bridge road.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Didn't know.
Yeah.
Love
it'll be good. Keep on the lookout for stuff we'll be posting about that.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, follow us on the social medias.
And subscribe to us.
Yeah.
Rate us.
Yeah.
Email us. Text us. Snail mail us.
Except for we're not giving out this.
Send us ravens. Anything you want to do, show up at my front door.
Oh.
Just kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, don't show up at mine.
Come over here. Oh, do you want to tell the best story of all time? You freaked me out, man.
I got scared.
Dude, okay.
So, again, why is it this house I'm living in? It's testing my instincts.
Yep.
So, before the door had been unlocked, this time I was sitting in my living room watching TV, and I hear footsteps coming up my porch, and I hear...
But you think it's Shiloh, so you're not concerned.
Yeah, but I hear the doorknob turn, and nobody obviously comes to the door, because I thought Shiloh didn't have his key. And then I hear footsteps going down. I'm like, oh gosh, like, Shiloh, did you forget your key in your car? How'd you do that?
Yeah.
You know, which he actually has probably done before. And I look out the window and nobody's there. Shiloh's truck's not in the drive. Like, nobody is there. And so I call Shiloh, and I was like, hey, were you just here by chance? He's like, no, I'm on my way home right now. And I was like, okay, cool. Somebody just tried to come in our house. And
I just got chills.
Yeah, which it definitely sounded like, again, the handle
100%.
was turning. Yeah. And so then I called Demi just to, like, have somebody else aware that something was happening. Yeah. And you're like, oh, well, we're driving right now. Do you want me to drive by?
I was literally a block down the road coming towards your house. And I was like, okay, like, we were going to meet my brother and his sister-in-law. And I was like, okay, well, we're going to go there. And you're like, no, it's fine. And I'm like, if you die and I know about you dying, I am going to hate myself for the rest of time. And I was like, no. Like, and then you convinced me. You're like, no, Shiloh's right around the corner.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, but I don't know. And I was like driving by really slowly. And I was like, Brett, look that way.
Just look. Yeah, I was like, if you drive like by that block, just like look to see if there's anybody like running away or something.
Yeah.
And so Shiloh comes home, he's like, hey, dork. And I was like, what? And he's like, somebody left a card on the door. How the hell am I supposed? Why would they wedge it in between the doorknob and the door?
The mailbox, you idiot.
The mailbox is literally right there. You can see it as you're walking up the steps.
Oh, it's so bad.
And so it turns out that it's a letter plus like a $5 gift card to Starbucks because Shiloh screamed at a girl that parked in front of our driveway, like blocked it off completely. He was like watching as this car was parked there, waiting for somebody to go out and move their car, and he goes out there and he's like, "Don't you ever block my driveway again!" And like is yelling at her, and she was just like super afraid. Deer in the headlights. Oh,
Shiloh.
Girl. Yeah, and he was irritable anyway, and so. He's like, maybe I should go apologize to her. And I was like, yeah. So her note was just like, I'm sorry I blocked your driveway. I hope this, like, makes you, I hope this,
like happy holidays.
Yeah, happy holidays. You're a new neighbor.
Oh my gosh. That was so hilarious when you sent me that. I loved it.
God.
Of course that's what it was.
Well, thankfully nobody tried to break in.
Yeah. I woke up in the dead of sleep last night because I heard Tatum walking down the hall, and I smacked Brett, and I was like, "Someone's in the house," and he's like, "You are so terrified of everything. Go to sleep."
But what if somebody was in the house?
Nobody's in the house.
But it's good that you are awake enough.
Every
Just
noise.
be on guard.
Every noise wakes me up. I am the lightest sleeper of all time.
No, that's really actually.
Maybe not everything, because like I can sleep when the TV's on, but like footsteps in the hallway at night are
you have
murderers.
hardwood floors, so you can hear it.
Yes, they're so creaky.
Yeah.
So anyway,
another week of not getting murdered.
Yay,
hooray!
we did it. So yeah, come back next week. Check in with us
and this book
and this crazy book. These crazy men.
Yes. I keep forgetting things.
Shoot.
I did potentially cast the character of Jack.
Go.
So it's a toss-up right now.
Okay.
Between Luke Evans, who was in The Girl on the Train, who was
the husband?
The husband that the girl died, the woman that died. I'll show you.
Yeah, you have to show me. Totes. Oh my God. Gaston.
Totally.
Girl.
Or honestly,
that's it.
I agree. I actually am going for him more. Yes. But even so, like Michael Fassbender. Because he could be like a lawyer.
Ooh.
And he's also played a bad guy. I'm still
kind of like him more.
I like Luke Evans a little more, I think, though.
Yeah. Ooh.
They're both good. Cast your vote on Instagram.
Yeah. I need to hear them talk.
Well,
I've heard them, but like I need to hear them.
He is
British.
Yeah, Luke Evans is actually British, but so is Michael Fassbender. No, but he's German too. So he has like dual.
Yeah. I think ooh, shoot. Wait, no. Okay, Gaston might be more though because he's like so handsome but then could look so crazy.
Yeah.
Like too good.
But also like turn it off to be like
dark.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I hope they make this movie.
Please make this movie.
Oh my gosh.
Let's petition.
Yeah.
All right. Now I'm done.
Okay. I love it though. That was so good.
Thanks. Ooh.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, come back next week. Let's get this book wrapped up.
Yeah.
We're going to be done soon.
Pretty soon.
Yeah.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
Bye, guys. Have a good week.
Bye. Bye.